Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Create and Process. Today we're back with another 3D abstract design tutorial. We're going to create out this amazing basic shape abstract design using Photoshop. We're going to use 3D extrusion option to create out this design. So if you look at our first design, you can see it consists of basic shapes like sphere, cube, cylinder, and we get all these shapes from mesh with presets option, which you get under 3D attributes. And if you go over here, you can see you got cone, cylinder, donut, pairing, and everything. So you got a list of presets which you can use, just I have used over here and created out this nice abstract design. In the way I have also created out this custom shapes, which is this and this zigzag shape, which I have used using the basic shapes and the pen tool, and create out this using 3D extrusion option and applied a nice material to it. We'll be using the same concept and create our other design where we have used a polygon and extruded out and applied a nice gradient map. Then we have used donut preset, which you can see over here on a mesh with preset. You got this donut, so we have used that shape and applied a nice texture to it. And we have also used soda can, which you'll find it under preset as well, and we have seen how we can apply a nice texture to it. So overall, in this tutorial, we'll be learning how you can use these presets and apply it to your own design and create out some amazing, inspiring design. In the previous video, we have seen how we can use 3D extrusion option, 3D postcard. We have created some amazing abstract design, which was dynamic as well as some unique and creative one. This one is going to be a little simpler. So let's begin with the designing process. So to begin with our design, I'm going to open a new Photoshop document. So add a new Photoshop document, set it to 600 by 400 mm with the resolution 72, and I have set to this and create. Now let's begin. The first type we're going to do is to apply a background color. So I'll just double click on this, click OK, and then double click and open this layer style. Under here I'll choose color overlay and choose this greenish color, and here's the color code you can use, 2CE1B9. I have used this color code. It's a mix of green and blue, so I click OK and done. So we got a nice background color. Now let's work on the art. So if we go over here, you can see all of these are basic shapes, and you got this in the 3D presets. So let's find it over there. So here is our 3D attributes, and here is our 3D extrusion, and below that you got mesh with preset. So we're going to use it and create out some amazing design now. So we got sphere, ring, cylinder, cube, all kind of 3D shapes like cone. You get this, you can create it and use it. The first step we're going to do is to add a new layer, and then after that, adding that, selecting that new layer, go over here, right, then go and select first, let's say sphere, select that, and then click on create. And if you don't find this 3D attribute panel over here, you can anytime go to Windows and just check this, and you'll get this 3D attributes panel. Now I'll just create that sphere. Right, here's our sphere. Now in the same way, we'll create out all the other 3D shapes. So I'm going to add a new layer, right? Then instead of sphere, I'll choose cube and create. Here we go. Now I'll add one more layer. Now I'll choose cylinder and create. And if you find that your cylinder is quite long and thin, you can just customize it. Just select that cylinder, and if you click on the center, you got this icon. Just click and drag, and it will make it bigger. Now if you want to decrease the length, just go over here with the y-axis and just reduce the y-axis value, and you got a nice cylinder there. Now I'll add one more layer, and I'm going to create cone. So I'll select this cone and create, and here we go. We got all the shapes over here. You can see this, all of them are in different layers, and if I use my 3D view just like this, you can see each object is acting in a different 3D world. What I need is I want all the shapes in a single 3D world. So I want to merge it. So what we can do is we'll select all these layers, right? With the shift pressed, I selected all this layer. Now go to 3D and merge 3D layers. And that way, everything, all these 3D shapes will converge together in one single 3D like 3D view. So now if I go here and rotate it, you can see everything is in one single 3D view. So now it is very easy to adjust their height, adjust their positions, everything. I'll just zoom this out a little bit. And now the first tab we're gonna do to create out this simple design is doing the placement. So I'll go over here. I'm gonna select let's say cube and just push it up a little bit like this. Okay, I'll just change the perspective view to something like this just to see the gappings and zoom it out a little bit more. And here's the cube. Now I'll select the other shapes like let's say cylinder, and I'll just push this up over here. And we got that cone, so I'll select the cone, and if you zoom it in, you see that our cone is in a different angle. Just let me go in perspective. Yeah, as you can see, it's not normal, it's not in their normal position, it's rotated in and it's little inclined. So what you can do is selecting that cone and go over here, coordinates, and under angle just set everything to 0. So 0 and 0 and 0 like that. So if you rotate it again, as you can see, everything is set to 0 now, right? Now I'll just do the placement. So I was gonna select it and drag it up to the cylinder. So zoom it out a little bit, place it somewhere around here, right? Zoom it in, and now selecting the cone, just drag it up over here. Just do the rotation a little bit just to see the placement. Okay, so it seems really good. I think everything is placed properly. Now the next step we're gonna do is to apply material. So the easiest thing we can do is select all the materials. So over here under 3D panels, just select all these materials. Select one, and with the shift press, select the bottom material, and everything will be selected. Okay, and now go over here and choose plastic material. So go over here and we'll select this blue plastic material, and automatically it will be applied to all the shapes. Now let's do some color adjustments. We want some purplish look, so I'm going to over here a little bit of purple like that. Okay, and if we compare it with our design, it's a little brighter, so make it a little more brighter. So I'm going to make it a little more brighter. Okay, like that. Yep, and I think the colors are matching now. Now let's do the placement, the position. Before that, let's duplicate one more time. So what I'll do is I'll just converge all these layers like that. Select this, all these 4. Select this. So maybe select everything. Then right click and instant object, and this will duplicate an instant of the object like that. And we can select all these 3 and just drag it down. Okay, like that. And let's zoom it out a little bit more. Okay, and just place it there. And as you can see, we need one more sphere. So I select the sphere. So go to sphere, right, and right click and instant object. And I'll just drag it down and place it somewhere around there. Right, and now if I rotate in the 3D view, you can see everything is placed properly. Now let's do the placement. So what we need is we need an angular diagonally placement. So I'm going to use the rotation here. Select this and just rotate, Ctrl Z to undo. Okay, and select this and select the scene, right, and then do the rotation. So rotate it in this angle. Let's zoom it in a little bit. Okay, and I'll place it somewhere around here. Just do a little bit of rotation like that. Zoom it out, place it somewhere around here. So just check out the view which you are satisfied with, and I'll see over here it's a little bit zoom in. We got cone and then 2 of the objects over here, so I need to zoom in a little bit more and just a little bit of dynamic angle. So it's all about doing the right placement and customizing it like that. I think this looks great. Now I'll create one more duplicate of this, but as you can see there are some drop shadow. What we can do is selecting the scene just switch off shadows. That way all the shadows on the scene will be removed. Now selecting this, I'll just create one more duplicate of it. Okay, and selecting that, using the move tool, we'll just move it on this other side, something like that. Okay, I'll create one more duplicate of this and we'll place that on the other side as well. Okay, so let's just compare with our original design. So here's our original design and here is our created one. So it's quite similar. The only little bit of difference is the angle. So we're going to set it like this here, cube, cone, and so like that. So let's see a little bit of this. So we need a little bit of movement on this one as well. Just drag it down a little bit down. Okay, and just move it out a little bit, zoom it out a little bit just to see all the cones. That all this one also, just a little bit of zoom it out a little bit and place it somewhere out here. Now let's do some rotation. So I'm going to select this and give some rotation to this. So I'm going to use the rotation tool and just rotate it something a little bit perspective here, something like that. Okay, yep. I'll select the other, just do some rotation a little bit. Yep. Okay, and I'll do some individual rotation as well. So selecting this cone, select the cone over here, just do some rotation. Okay, just check out which rotation will be good. So let's rotate something like that, and a little bit of angular, so giving some dynamic look, a little bit of dynamic look. So selecting this, we just rotate, try to rotate it a little bit, something like that, and some angle like a little bit. This one I'll just make a little bit straighter like that, and a little bit of tilted on the other side. This is all about like giving some random look to our design. Okay, we'll go to other side as well. So select this. Okay, and now select the cube here and let's do some rotation. And this one I'll just try to give some different look, little bit like that. So it's giving the random movement like that. Now the next thing we're gonna do is to create out these other shapes as well. So what I can do is I'll go here, right, and add a new layer on top, and we'll create a circle. So using the shape tool, ellipse tool, select the ellipse tool and click and drag and create out a circle, something simple like this. Okay, remove the fill color and under stroke choose white. Okay, and choose the stroke lines to linear, something thick, and make sure that it's inside. So click that and increase the stroke thickness. So we're giving some thickness, giving some hollow in the center, so something like that. And after that we'll go to 3D extrude and create, and this will create a shape of 3D shape, something like this. Let's reduce the thickness. So we'll reduce the thickness a little bit, something like this, and here we go, we got a nice 3D shape here. In the same way, I'm going to create one more shape, that's zigzag one, which you can see over here, and this is also custom made. So I'm going to use the pen tool. So add a new layer, select pen tool and click, 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 and then click. So we got a zigzag shape. I'll remove the fill color from here and set the stroke thickness to linear, and let's increase the stroke thickness. So we'll increase the stroke thickness to around, let's say, this much. And what we need to do over here is I'll go to stroke and we'll set this to center, and this will give you that nice pointed ends, and we'll increase the stroke thickness now a little bit. Just make sure that you got a balanced thickness like that. And after that I'll go to 3D extrusion again and create it, and this will create a 3D shape. I'll just rotate it and show you this is it. And let's reduce the extrude depth. So I'm going to reduce the extrude depth to around this much, and here we go, we can keep it like that. Now what I need to do is I'll just hide out all these 3D layers and we'll work on this single one. So let's see this. Okay, so now once you have extruded this zigzag shape, you can use this 3D rotation view just to see how much extrusion we have given, so it's too much, so we're gonna reduce the extrusion depth. So we go over here and reduce the extrusion depth to around this much, and I think this is looking great. So here you go, this is the shape. Now this is our zigzag layer and this is our circular layer. So we're gonna select both of them and merge them together. So I'm gonna go to 3D and merge 3D layers, and this will merge them both. Now we're gonna do some like a little bit of a placement. So I'm just rotated, do some adjustment with the placement. So select this over here, select the shape, okay, zigzag one, and I'll go to coordinates and set the angular to 0 by 0 by 0. So this is in the original position. That way the other shape is also in a 0 by 0 position. So here we go. Now I'll just select this and push this up a little bit up like that, and let's zoom it out a little bit just to see. Okay, and I'll just place this a little bit on the right side and zoom it out a little bit more. Okay, giving some gap in between, something like that. And we'll select these two and we'll create two instances. So I'm gonna just converge them and select this shape and this the other shape. We'll create instant, so instant objects like that, selecting both, drag it down and place it somewhere around here. We'll create a few more duplicates just to fill up the entire work area. So I'll just zoom it out a little bit more and I'll create instance. So selecting these two again and create instant object. This time selecting them both, I'll just push it up a little bit somewhere around here. So let's see in the perspective view. Okay, I think this looks great, so I'm gonna keep it something like this. Now let's do the placement in our original design. So let's zoom it in a little bit and place it somewhere around here and do some rotation. And before that, let's change the materials. So let's apply some materials, selecting everything, select this and select this, all these, and we'll go over here material and choose a plastic material like this, and we'll change the color to that purple magenta color. So I'm going to select this around here, a little bit of brighter, something like that, and click OK. And we'll do some different color to this. We'll apply some different color to the zigzag. So we'll go over here, selecting all these surfaces and choose different materials. So I'm going to select this material, a little bit of metalish look like that, and now selecting the scene, okay, and we'll just reduce these shadows which is over there. And now we'll use the rotation and just rotate it in this way and just zoom it in a little bit, and let's do the placement. So I'll just unhide all these layer. I'm going to place these shapes here, somewhere around here, and I'm going to set the rotation of this as well. So let's see which layer is it, this one. Let's set the angular rotation a little bit, just make it sure it's parallel to each other. We'll select this now and do some little bit of rotation, and let's zoom it down a little bit and place it somewhere around here. So I think this is the way we want to go. I'll create one more duplicate of this, yep, and this time we'll place it in between these layers. So just move it on the other side, something like that. So let's do some rotation for this as well. So I'm going to set the rotation a little bit, straightening out and doing some placement somewhere closer to this. Yep. Okay, so if you see the design, it's almost placed properly. What we need right now is, we can see some shadows over here, textures and shadows. So let's give that, and we have given some rotation to this zigzag and circular just to give some rotation. So let's select this one, and I'll do some rotation. So selecting that, just doing some rotation, something like that, yes, and I'll just place this around here. Okay, I'll do the same for the other as well, just doing some, giving some perspective 3D look to it, and just place it around, and this is giving some dynamic look to your design, right? And now let's zoom it in a little bit and do some individual adjustments. So I'm going to select this one and do some rotation with this. In the same way, I'm going to select the others, giving some different look to each of your design. Like this, it's looking amazing. Now let's add that texture, and that's using the shadows. So I switched off the shadow before earlier, so I'm gonna again switch it on. So shadows, switch it on, and here you can see some texture. In the same way, I select this and switch on the shadows. And if we see over here now, it's looking amazing. And this shadow, we'll try to hide it in some other way. So I'm gonna just see which shadow is this one, right? So we'll go over there. So I'm gonna select everything, yes, and just remove the cast shadow, or maybe this shadow, yes. So I'll just keep it that way, and here we go. Our first design is ready. But before we go further, in this you can see we have given that golden to the circle and that purple texture to the zigzag. So let's do it properly. So I want to just exchange the texture. So selecting this and selecting the zigzag shape, right? And again change the material to this one, blue, and we'll change the color to something purple look, something like that. Okay, similar to that. And I'll change back the this circular to this material, glossy, this one, yellow is saying. Maybe you can choose either this or this, so you can choose any of the color you like, and we'll do the same for the other as well. Or maybe you can leave it, and that will give you some unique look, but I prefer giving golden look to the circles, and for the zigzag we're gonna give that purple. And here we go, our first design is ready. It's looking amazing, it's looking great. You got that nice little bit of texture on the sphere, on the circle, and we have used some 3D basic shapes which we get it under mesh with preset options, and we have used it in a way and created this amazing abstract design. Now the next thing we're going to create is this design. This is very simple, very easy. We have used very simple steps. So to create this, I'm going to add a create a new document just like the previous one, and for this we'll set it to 400 by 600 and keep it like this, horizontal, and create. And I'll just reduce the height a little bit more just to make it a little bit something like this. Enter, and here is our document. So first of all, let's change the fill color. So as you can see, our fill color is quite dark, and if we check out our color picker, this is the color code. This is dark blue color, and this is the color code. So I'm going to use this color and apply to our new design. Double click. Okay, and I'll just apply Alt backspace, and the dark blue color is applied. Next, I have added a background color. This is the background. So as you can see, this is a rectangular shape or outer shape. This is the shape which I have created, and then applied a nice gradient color to it. And this is the gradient color, dark blue by dark purple by purple color. So let's create that background as well. So just draw a rectangle, selecting that, and just draw some rectangle, something like that. Let's remove the stroke first, and let's apply a gradient. So selecting there, select gradient, go here, choose some purple, dark purple, something like that, and a purple, light purple, a little bit of this, yep, like something interesting. And I think this is looking great, right? Now let's begin creating this design. Yes, so let's create this. The first design is this polygon. So we're gonna draw a polygon using the shape. So here we got a polygon shape, and if I click over here, you can see you can decide how many sides you want to give. So I'm going to give 6 sides, and click OK. So we got this little bit of elongated. You can just make the shapes right by using the transform option, even, something like that. And let's remove these strokes. So using the shape, and then go over here and remove the strokes. And for the color, I'm going to choose some orange color, and that's all. Now we're going to extrude this shape. So we'll go to 3D extrusion and create 3D extrusion option, and here we go, we got a nice 3D extruded object. And now selecting everything, I'll just change the material to something simple. So I'm going to choose that plastic material and change the color to something orange. Okay, yep. and I think this is looking great. Let's extrude it a little bit more. So selecting the polygon, let's extrude it a little bit, something like this. Okay, and let's place it in the position where we want to give. So I'll just scale it up a little bit and just place it somewhere around here. Okay, let's compare the colors. So this is quite a interesting dark orange color, and if you see over here, it's quite yellow. So let's try to get that color. Selecting everything, go here, and let's try to get that fresh orange color, something like this. Okay, and we'll change the lighting as well. So I'll go over here, infinity light, and let's rotate the light angle to something at this direction, just to see some depth of field over there. And we'll apply some gradient map. So I'm going to double click on this, on the layer style, choose color overlay, or maybe gradient overlay, right? We'll just do the rotation a little bit. Okay, and place it somewhere around here. Change the overlay. So it's just checking out all these layer options, and let's compare the colors. So I'll select this one, and let's see what's the color have we used in this. First of all, let's remove the gradient and texture. So this is the texture, right? Okay, so by removing color, I can see that I have applied some simple color here. This is the color we have used, this one, and over here light orange color. Then I have applied a gradient color. Let's see the gradient color which we have applied. This is orange by purple, so orange by purple. So I have to set that like this, and then in terms of lighting, I have set it on the top like that. Okay, so let's try to get that. Now I'll go over here again, selecting the polygon, right? Select all these layers, material layers, and go over here and choose a color that's similar to that. So I'm going to choose something like that. Okay, I'll just hide this gradient overlay, and we got that nice simple oranges bright color. Now I'll set the color direction as well. I'll set it on top, something like that. Okay, just to see that edge there. And now let's apply gradient color overlay. So we have to change the color. The color should be like orange by purple. So as you can see, it's directly affecting over there. So the first thing which I have done wrong before was I choose different color. So you have to choose the color you want. Orange over here and purple over there, you have to set the color as well. So I'm gonna do some little bit of adjustments over here just to make it a little more darker, little bit darker, just to give it interesting looking. Okay, and this one I want to give a little bit more darker, something a little darker tone. Okay, and it's looking great. Now I'll just go over here and do some adjustments with the lighting, right? Yep, and I think this is looking great. This is what I wanted for this design, and if you see over here, this is just something like that. So we got an interesting looking design there, a little bit of angular, something like that. And let's give some rotation to it. Yes, selecting the polygon and just rotate it a little bit, something like this. Yes, just to see all these surfaces. And here we go. Now the next thing we're going to create is this donut shape. So let's create that. I'm going to add a new layer, right? And we'll go to mesh with presets and select donut, right? And then create. So this will create our donut shape. Now let's rotate the perspective view, something like this, and let's set it according to our design. So what we need, like over here, is we need a rotation, something like this, right? And we need a little bit of something similar to that, and let's place it somewhere around here. Yes, something like that. And the lighting, we have to set the lighting as well. So I'll go here and set the lighting downwards, giving an angle over there. Okay, so lighting is set, everything is set. Let's compare it. If you want to compare it with the original design, this is the object placed and this is the set. So I think overall the placement is good. I want to increase the size a little bit and place it around here. And now let's apply a texture, and it's very simple. To apply a texture, go to donuts, and under material we'll go to here and edit texture. Under texture we're gonna apply some texture. So add a new layer. And for the colors, I want to add white background, so select white color and Alt backspace. Then we'll add another layer and draw some shapes. So using the rectangle tool, I'll just draw out rectangle and apply it with purple color. So I'm going to choose over here and go here and choose some nice purple color, something like this. Okay, and I'll just create a few more duplicate of it. The Alt drag. Now I'll save it. File, save. And this will automatically apply a texture to our original design. Let's see what happens over there. So if you see over here, you got a nice texture over there, but there is some effect over there. There's a little bit of curviness, and that's due to the strokes. So if you see over here, you can see we got a stroke over here. So let's remove all the strokes. So selecting everything, I'll go over here, selecting the rectangle tool and just remove the strokes, and this will make it linear. Now if I save it, right? If I save it now and see and check it out in our original design, it's looking so smooth now. It's amazing. Now if we go over here and compare it to our original design, that's something that's what we want. So this is the effect I wanted, and it's looking great. Now the last thing I want to do a little bit in this is lighting setup, and to do that I'll go to infinite lighting and do some color adjustments in the lighting. So this right now the lighting is white color. Let's give some purplish look to it, and done. Here we go. This is the donut texture which you have a shape, and we have applied a nice texture to it. Now the last thing we're gonna do is to create out this can, and this is so very simple. It's already there in the preset. I just have to create it. So I'm gonna add a layer, right? So let's add a new layer on top, and instead of donut, just select soda and just create it out. And here we go. Here's the can. Let's rotate it in perspective view, and here it is. And let's try to apply texture to it. So I'll zoom it in and let's select these materials. So selecting the material, this is level material and this is cap material. So what we need is we need to apply texture to the level. So let's go over here, edit texture, and under texture, let's drag in our texture. So I have already downloaded a texture of Coca-Cola. I'll just drag and drop it there, scale it up a little bit, something like this, fill up the entire region, enter. And if you save it, file, save, and get back to our original design, you can see that it's applied. The texture is nicely applied. For the cap, I want to keep it simple. I'll not apply any texture to it. I'll just change the color, or maybe I'll apply a material. So I'll choose a metal material, something like this, yes, and change the color to something silvery looking, something like that. Okay, and that's all. That's the material I want to give, and we need to do a little bit of adjustment with the material of this specular. So I'll just reduce, make it a little more darker, and increase the shine a little bit, yes, and reflection a little bit. Okay, now I'll do some adjustment with the rotation. So selecting this, give it a rotation, and do some adjustments with the lighting as well. Let's do some adjustment with the material. If you want to give a little more darker, just make it darker. Okay, and now if I go and select our background layer, here we go. We have created that 3D basic shapes. So finally we have completed creating both the design. In the first design, we have understood how we can use 3D basic shapes which is available in 3D option in the form of presets, and create out some amazing designs where we have applied materials. And in the second design, we have understood how we can create using the shapes. I've used the polygon tool shapes and create out this 3D extrusion object, applied a gradient map just to give some color depth, and we have used donut option which was in the preset and given them a nice texture which is custom made. You can give any texture in this. And lastly, we have used can, which is the preset which you find in this 3D option panel, and we have given that nice Coca-Cola texture to it. So finally we have completed create this design. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to check out the next tutorial coming up, and if you want more updates on designing, don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.